How did it feel to be a Jewish soldier?
All Jewish soldiers in the Polish army had a special, sort of a special duty, because those soldiers, including myself, we knew that our parents and families were left in Poland, and most of them didn't know what happened to them. Only when the war finished did they find out what happened to their families. Like in my case, I found out through an uncle that lived in Israel that my father was killed, my mother and all the children were killed. So this was the toughest, really the toughest part of being a soldier.
Somebody had to look after these Jewish soldiers in the fields or wherever they were stationed. That's why the Canadian government appointed a number of rabbis who were called army chaplains. These chaplains were appointed by the Canadian government for the spiritual welfare of Jewish soldiers based in Canada and overseas. For the Army and Navy, there were 4 full-time Army chaplains, and for the Air Force, there were 2 full-time and 3 part-time Army chaplains. Overseas, there was 1 chaplain each for England, France, Belgium, and Holland. Canada made sure our Jewish soldier boys stayed kosher. The Army chaplains looked after the spiritual needs of the Jewish soldiers on Canadian bases and overseas. They arranged for minions, gathering the Jewish soldiers in military bases all over the world. Whenever possible, the chaplains arranged for minions and prayer service at or near the battlefields. The chaplains put special emphasis on making minions during the Yom Tovim, such as Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur.
The different regiments and arranged for minions, and my Polish chaplain, he used to drive a little truck, and his driver was the shaman.
A lot of people ask me if I was ever scared. I must to tell you, I never was scared. It just came naturally. And you see, on a tank, you're five guys: the driver, the co-driver, the gunner, the tank commander, and the radio operator, which was my job. And we just took it naturally.
You were only in a tank.
The only time I was terrified when we were on a field and the American Air Force bombed us by mistake. Instead of bombing the Germans, because there was so much smoke and dust, they dropped a couple of bombs on our formation, our unit. And we heard the bombs drop. And that was the only time I remember that I ever was really scared.